Okay, this video is going to be just a quick exterior tour of a 2023 Scout Kenai truck camper. I haven't seen a lot of videos for this particular camper, the 2023, so I thought I'd kind of do an exterior review. This is sitting on a 2022 Ford F350 XLT, the crew cab. This one's in the 6.2 liter engine. I got it for payload. Don't need a diesel or anything to tow this camper. You can see on here that it weighs only 1,200 and something pounds. If you can see this there. So definitely not in need of a diesel, which takes away about 800 pounds of your payload. So I got the gas engine for max payload and the F350 for max payload. Payload on this truck's about 4,100 pounds. And my estimate is that the Scout camper, all loaded up, ready to go, weighs about 2,000. So got lots of payload for the family and the truck and whatnot. So got the truck with the camper package. It comes with the sway bar and got off-road. These Scout campers should be pretty good at overlanding, off-roading kinds of things. So went ahead and got it with that. So here's a quick walk around of it. On this side, you've got the windows, which are pretty cool. I'll show you those on the inside. And then you've got a propane compartment here. I heard they're sending them now just with one tank, but this came with two 10-pound propane tanks. And it's got a connection right here. And I bought a hose. Didn't come with the hose, but you can put a hose in here, and then it's got some holes down on the floor. You can run it. I run it back to the tailgate and use the stove that's inside. You can take it outside. It's pretty cool. It's vented. They're coming with these nicer latches now, which I like. They click into place. The jacks are not on here, but right here is where the jacks mount in, and up here as well. I don't need those necessarily unless I'm taking it off the truck. The ratchet strap system is right there. You can see. I'll show you that in the back in a little bit more detail. Right here, there's those holes from the propane compartment, and then there's a pass-through right here, which I didn't notice until just now, actually. So, I'm not sure what I would use that for. And then we've got the storage right here. It's got a lock on one side. It's got the same push button latches to open it. Then it holds quite a bit of gear in there. It's a pretty nice storage compartment. Good look for about how big it is on the outside. This is the 8-foot bed on the truck. Got it with the FX4 package. Here's the other rear jack. And then here's the ratchet system, what it looks like. So, you know, it just attaches right here to the connectors in the bed. And those seem to hold up fine. And then you just ratchet it until you can strum it like a guitar string, and it's pretty tight. We got it the first time. I've heard that they have to kind of stretch out and they'll get loose. One of the first trips we took, it was super windy, and the camper actually twisted a little bit in the bed of the truck, which was interesting. And then the back here, there's a Thetford cassette toilet. So you open this up. This is the water fill, and then down here's the cassette, which is cool. And then there's a diesel heater here, which we liked getting this option. We were actually going to get the propane fireplace, but then they discontinued those because they couldn't get them. And so we got the diesel heater at no extra cost. So it comes in a Zargis K470 case. Let me take the lock off here, I'll show you the inside. Okay, here we go, I got the lock off. So it did not come with a lock. I just bought a cheap one at Home Depot. But I think you can buy actually locks that replace this latch. So this is removable. This whole diesel heater here, you can take it off. You can see some bolts there in the corners. And then there's some caps that came with it to cover up the holes. But I doubt I'm ever going to take it off. It doesn't weigh that much. So there's the pump right there. This is the air intake. This is the exhaust. This is the heater unit. So, oh yeah, and then there's about it says 2.75 right there, US gallons. Diesel. We had this thing up in the snow, and we were just really blowing it hard all night, drying out a bunch of wet gear. And you can tell it hardly used any diesel. It wasn't even up to the fill line. I've used it a couple of nights and it just sips fuel. This is a solar porch light. This is fully self-contained. It doesn't run off the battery. Push the button here. It has 3 modes. Push the button and it'll have like a dim. It'll be bright if it sees you, and then it'll go dim. The second mode is off unless it sees you, then it's on. The third mode is off. They've got some updated running lights on here. I like these better, just these little LED ones. They look a lot sturdier. Just lock back on here. And I got the Roto Packs, which have been handy. They hold 2 gallons each. So it's nice to bring a little extra water with you. You'll see on the inside, the main water can only holds about 5 gallons. Haven't had any issues too much with the door. It is pretty stiff. And the thing did fall off again. I'll have to find that. There's a little plastic piece up here that kind of keeps the door closed. But anyway, door's good. You have to push on it kind of hard to seal it, but that's typical. It's got a pretty stiff hinge. It seals well though, which is good. There's that bracket there. That's for like if you get the Batwing awning, which I didn't get. That's there. Otherwise, I don't know what else it really is for other than to hang stuff on. And one item here. If you've got the 7-pin connection in the bed of your truck, which is handy for plugging it in up here where the 7-pin is, it just barely doesn't interfere. I installed this myself using the template from Ford, and wish I'd mounted it a little bit more in, because you can see right here it's the plug and this are kind of touching. Just barely fits. Let's see, anything else on the back here? Let me grab my drain here. So this is come around the other side. There's a water drain for the sink on the inside. I had a clear hose, but it wouldn't stay uncurled. So for right now, this is my current setup. Just a piece of PEX hanging down and then a bucket down there, which, let's see how that works. Here's the other jack. Here's a better view kind of how the jack system works. It's where the 7-pin connects, and then there's a solar, external solar connection. So if you're parked in the shade, you can run an extension. Here's where some of the electrical and gas, the upper one is the gas to the stove inside. There's the ratchet back here. There's another pass-through. I've got it plugged into shore power. Got a window on this side. Back up here. Get a look at this side of the camper. And then let's get up on the roof and take a look there. Okay, here we are up on the roof. So down there, is the vent fan, and then this is the bunk, what do you call it? The hatch up to the roof, skylight. It's pretty cool. Here's where the solar lights go in. So one problem I did have is right here, water was running down through this heat shrink tubing and getting into the wiring channel inside. So I plugged it up with a bunch of silicone. It's been fine. There's the solar panel. It's a Go Power Solar Flex 190 watt panel. It doesn't seem to, I'm pointed away from the sun right now, and it doesn't really seem to take any charge unless you're pointed right at the sun. And then there's the light bar up here, which is cool in the 2023s. Instead of running lights, it's got a light bar, which is pretty bright. Works pretty well. Yeah, you can climb on the roof. Structural. You know, you go around the camper. It's the one thing I'm, curious about over time is it's got all these caulk seams. They don't caulk it with silicone. They seal it up with Manus Bond, which is almost more of a glue. So I'm hoping it'll hold up for a few years between having to replace it. But it looks good now. I mean, you can see it's a nice clean edge. They did a good job finishing it up. I think that's everything on the outside of the Scout camper. Again, this is a 2023 Kenai. I think I missed the drain here. There's a drain pan on the inside. There's a drain right there, which is nice. But yeah, we've gotten it dirty a few times, and it's worked great. We've enjoyed having it. Doesn't sleep a ton of people, but our philosophy in getting it really was it's a place to keep our camping gear, so we can get outside and get to places and enjoy being outside without taking all day to pack up camping gear for the whole family. So watch for the next video. I'm going to do a tour of the inside. Hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions.